Hello everybody. If I sound a little low, it's because my camera is like a foot above my head so that y'all can see what all is here. And it is my zoomable webcam. Let me get this here to show you. If I zoom out, if I can get to working, I know it can. Maybe my battery is going low. Yep. Okay, that's the full view of my desk, my workspace. As you can tell, there are lots of things right here in the middle. And then, if I can get this thing to work again, beep, beep, beep. See, the light's flashing, but nothing's working. There we go. That's where I was, and then that's where I can go. So, I'm going to put it to the mid for a moment. And what you're seeing here is Recreation Day. I'm going to recreate these 3 rings that my cat, one of my cats, her name is Duchess, I'll give you her name, decided that, well, they were looking better as pieces. I will be using these pieces, but not in this recreation. At least not yet, if I use them for this purpose. I'm not sure if I'm going to try doing that or not. I'm not sure what I really could do with them, but I have thoughts. And one of my subscribers gave me some good ideas, and I may be utilizing those very soon here. Anyway, as you can tell, there's a blue, a yellow, and an orange. The blue was the original, and it's the piece that came off my bowl that I made. So I'm going to take this tray and get it out of my way because it's not useful any longer at this point. And it's quite heavy right now. So I'm going to try to get it over to its little corner. It's my catch-all for certain things and makes it easier for me to get things done. I do have some plans. What was also in that little tray was, before I found out that she broke all those rings, I had, for the sun catcher, already been making some pieces to put on it, and they are turtles. However, they were geared for that color yellow, and since I probably will not be able to recreate that yellow, I am going to, I do have the same yellow I used, but that does not mean that it's going to work out. You know, you can never get the exact same shade. So, I have my gloves because I am using Resin Crete, and the powder of this irritates the skin of a lot of people, including myself. So we wear gloves. They do sell gloves that are like the ones you use in your kitchen for scrubbing your dishes or whatever. And some of them are now coming with a full sleeve up to your elbow and past, so that it hangs onto your elbow. I have a pair of those. I don't know what I did with them because of so many moves and different areas of the house. People would get very confused if they ever tried to rob me because they wouldn't know where to go for anything that was really important. Well, of course, this stuff is important to me, but not to people that would break into your house. Excuse me. Allergies are up high today. The room is extremely warm because it is 98 or 99 outside right now. It's 98. I'm seeing it on my computer. Okay. See, my computer screen is right there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Resin Creep. I'm going to recreate the 3 rings. And then I'm going to let them cure. And the colors I will use are the yellow. And I do have a second set for just in case I run out of that one, which I probably will. I've used a lot of that yellow. Oh, if you find these getting a little thick, add a little bit of water to them. Just a couple drops, and then shake the crazies out of them. And you want to make sure you shake it very, 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 very well. But it works. And I did not use the blue from here. I just put the black away to the side. That's the black. You don't use them black. The blue was meant for the dream catcher. The yellow was meant for the sun catcher, you know, and the orange was going to be for the clock. So I've kind of rethought that since those got broke. The yellow will still be the sun catcher. Absolutely. And I'm not so sure about that I want the orange for the clock. So I'm probably going to go with a different color for the clock. But the blue is still going to be dream catcher. Bleh. Here we go with the mouth again. It works faster than the mind, or the mind works faster than the mouth. Nothing catches up. So I'm going to put this blue and this green aside. And I'm going to think on that clock color. I'm going to get the other 2 done first. And I'm not going to put you through watching me stir all of this and everything and get these set. We all know the cause and effect. This is a 10-to-3 powder to water. And so this is a bag I'm almost out of, but I believe it's enough to do the job for at least 1 ring. And I do have 2 5,000 kilogram bags. So I have quite a bit more of Resin Creep. I haven't opened them yet because I'm going to put a plastic liner inside the container I purchased for dumping it all into so that it's easier to gain access to. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put the camera on pause. I'm going to get the 3 made, and I'll be back and you'll be able to see what I chose for the clock. All right. See you in a sec. Oh, and before I forget, if you're working with any kind of chemical, and I do mean chemical, or powder, which some powders contain chemicals. However, like with mica powders, anything that floats in the air or that you can breathe in the particles, what you want to do is use a respirator. You don't want that crap in your lungs. I have to be super careful about things getting in my lungs because I screwed up my lungs by smoking for 50 years. And with the exception of a 6-month hiatus when I had quit and was stupid enough to go back to smoking. Yes, I do say stupid enough because I allowed somebody to goad me into it. And from that first puff, I was rehooked. So don't ever let somebody goad you into something. Anyway, I have emphysema, so I must protect what's left of my lungs. I am in the process of trying to quit, and so my creativity is going to have to be focused on instead of smoking. And so if I sound a little strained at times, it's because it's that urge to grab a cigarette. And just so you know, when I'm crafting, I do not smoke. because it's not good to add smoke into the whole area. I do not allow my pets, my cats or my dogs, in the room while I'm working either. So, yeah, the damage that they cause every once in a while is after I've already done my projects. All right, now comes that little pause. Sorry about that all. And I almost forgot to show you how I set up my area for mixing powders, because powders fly. You don't want all that in the air, but you also don't want to have to try to clean it up later. So I just take enough paper towels for the area I'm going to be working in, and then what I do is I spritz it all down with some water. And yes, I do have a silicone mat on my desk. However, this keeps powders on the desk from being transferred and flying. It doesn't hurt anything to do this, unless you have a wooden desk you're working on that's not protected with a silicone mat, because then, of course, wood absorbs it and swells. You want to pat it down, get a little bit wetter than what I've got right now, so that it stays put. And we have sirens again. Lately it's been a lot because people, when it gets really hot here, this is really thought to be a retirement town, just to let y'all know, because most of the young people move out, and it's just us older people left behind, which is what we prefer, so that we're not into the madness of the world. We've already done our share of that. All right, so this is what I do, and then I just do kind of the same thing with my scale. Get a paper towel. I'm just using cheap paper towels from our local Family Dollar. When I asked my husband to pick some up, he picked up the wrong ones, and he got the even cheaper, poorly made paper towels. But right now they're going to do the job for me, so that's all I care about. And we spritz it down. Now remember, your scale goes for weights. So when you turn it on, you make sure that your scale is tared out. T-A-R-E-D. Tear is to bring it back to zero. Okay? And I had to pick up a new mask out of my package, out of my box, because I can't seem to find the one I was using, which was only used once. But what these are, I got them off Temu. They're called KN95. Basically, in America, it's N95. And these masks work very well for filtering out powder. So, micas, etc. You can also use painter's masks. They work excellent because they are meant to keep flying particles out of your face, out of your breathing. And then, of course, you just open it up a little bit and start forming it to what you think your nose is. And then when you put it on, you just adjust that as necessary. Now, I do find these to be slightly small for my face. I know I don't have a huge face, but they are slightly smaller than they should be for me. However, they do still work. And it's one of the reasons I don't try to talk while I'm using them, but I do anyway, because you know me. Talk, 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 talk. Okay. Anyway, So what you do is, before you mix out your powder, I went and got my old stir sticks. And since I'm going to still be using blue, and this is the blue I used in the bowl and the blue ring. It is a mica powder, and the brand is Mucum BBT. And this one here, it's just blue, is what it was sold as, is blue. Very pretty blue. So I'll be using that again, but I won't be using it at this point. So I'll be washing the blue completely out of this time. And it's not that hard to do. I don't have my soap and water one here with me, so I'll just use the normal spray. This does tend to stain. I'm going to let you know that. That mica powder stains. These resin colorants, they all are, these eco powder colorants, they do stain as well. So you have to weigh your options. If you're going to try doing this without gloves, know that you will probably have stained hands for a while. And that anything you put in there is going to stain. Put it in, I should say. So you may not get all the color out, but if you can do it until it comes out white instead of, your paper towel comes out white instead of blue, or the color that you're trying to clean out of there, then you should not be able to transfer anything more. So now you're seeing the cleaning in process. Boy, is my mouth shot today. Blah, 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 blah. Kind of reminding myself of the moms, the parents, the adults on the Peanuts cartoons. Wah, 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 wah. Yes, maybe I'm entering my second childhood. Who knows? I'm not too sure. Now, can you see that the blue is still tinged in there pretty good? So, to see if you're having any effect, it's best to use all white paper toweling so that you can tell how clean you're getting things. But do you see what I've already removed from there now? So, do it until you see it come clean without any color on it. And a good boot for this, the boost for that would be the last cleaning you use alcohol. And I'm not suggesting 99%. I am suggesting the regular 70-30 mix that you find in pretty much every single pharmacy area. All right, that's starting to come out white now. And I do have white ones, so I am going to grab some of those. They are in this pack here. I do like using select-a-sheets for doing this kind of work because you're not wasting as you go. And what I do is I just tear them all off and then fold them in half. And it makes them ready to go. All right, I'm going to try one more time with the water. And I'm only showing you this so that you know what to do if you're doing this for the first time, especially. Because it can be very, very frustrating to intend for your product to be white and it comes out with that blue tinge or hue to it. And yeah, something you don't want to have happen. Now I use this measuring cup, this mixing cup. It's both. It's a mixing and measuring cup. And I use it because of the spout. It makes it so much easier to get into here. And so I am coming out with no blue. So for me, that's clean. And then, as I said, this is now 99% alcohol in this bottle. I haven't used it yet, so I'm trying to pump it up here. Holy moly. I am sure that there is a way that comes out. Please don't be a defective bottle. Yeah, it's telling me, nope, not today. No matter if I pump it soft or hard. Oh, there it comes. Okay. Now this is the 99. I should be using the 70-30. But in my craft room, I don't usually have the 70-30. Wow, this is a lousy bottle, everybody. Really lousy. Alright, anyway. See? Paper towel that you had. And see, this is why you go ahead one more time with alcohol, because I do have blue showing up again. Still coming up with blue. Okay. I think that's acceptable now. Alright, I'm going to let you go while I clean the sticks and get those rings made. Oh, and each ring sits 1 hour before I pull it out so it doesn't break. And then they're allowed to sit for 2 days to completely cure, which means all the moisture gets evaporated from them. That way, if you want to coat them, it's easier to do that and you don't have problems. Now, my room is pretty warm, so I'm still allowing it 2 days. So when I come back here, this is going to be 2 days later. Although I might come back and do some of the projects needed to add to those rings. I'm not too sure, but I'll see you soon. Alright, I figured I'd come back and let you know how I'm mixing this stuff. This is 400 grams of resin creep, and it is for a 10-to-1 or 10-to-3 mixture, which means if you have 100 grams, it's 30 grams of water. So all you do is, if you've got 400 grams, is you take the 30 and you multiply it by 4, so that's 120 grams of water. I decided to go with the blue. I put the blue mica in here, as you can see. So I'm going to pour the blue one first. I have 120 grams of water here, and I mix the mica into my powder first, That way it incorporates better. So I'm just going to get this mixed in here real fast. Get it poured. You'll get to see this first one. And I let you know these things because I know I have new viewers now again. And, you know, I have a lot of videos and it's hard to sort through, even for me, to try to go back and show people which videos to look at on my procedures. Soon I will have enough videos put together, hopefully, for teaching videos, basically, how I do things and what I have found works for me, doesn't work for me, the perils of doing resin work, including the eco resins. And I am just using the old stick because it's blue. Might as well use blue, right? And you do want to scrape at the bottom as well as you can. Scrape your stick off a couple of times to get the powder off of that. I like to turn my cup a little bit sideways because I can feel dry powder at the bottom. And this helps bring it up to get mixed. And you want to go as quickly as you can because my room is warm. And the warmer your room is and the deeper this stuff is, the more impossible it is to keep it from curing too fast. I will add a little bit more water because I want this to be as smooth as possible. You're allowed to go to 35 grams of water per 100. I don't necessarily go that great of a deviation from the recommended. And then, of course, with resin creep, you're going to face bubbles. No matter what you do, you're going to face them. Whether it's at the bottom of your mold or the top or your base. See, the top is on the bottom, base is there. So I'm going to show you what I do. I just stick this down in here and I begin pouring. I don't pour too quickly, but fast enough so that I don't have it set on me. And I begin lowering the mold as I go. That helps push all of that. Oh my goodness. I might be making a bowl, everybody. 400 grams is a little too much. So I guess I'll quickly make a bowl. So I'll put that there, get some more put in here. I wouldn't need that much. Probably another 200, 250 grams of this. But before I get that settled in to doing that, I have these silicone baby spoons. They are flexible, very flexible. And you want to get that down in there and start swishing around to bring those bubbles up from the bottom. Bring it up slowly so you don't reintroduce. And this is where you have to go very quickly because it'll start setting while you're mixing. So I'm going to do this real fast. Put this down for a moment. Get my scale back over here. Put this back on here. Tear it out. Now it's back at 0. And I figure I'll do 200 and that should about do it. So maybe 200, 250. And what I have is a large scoop, yes. So let's get the 200 in there. And yes, I still have my mask on. It's at 216, so I'm going to go probably the 220 route. I'd rather have a little bit more than not enough. And I always keep extra molds. I'm going to go to 250. It's easier for the water measurements. There we go. That's good. I always keep my, so 250, that's 30, 60, and half of 30 is 15, so 75. So we're just going to pour it in there like that. So 30, 60, 75, so 75 on top of 250 is 325. If I go a little over, that's all so fine. 325. Oh my gosh, I'm going way over, but hey, brain dead. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Let's get the mica back over here. And I'll show you. Tap down from the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump it like I did with the other. They may be slightly different colored, but that's all right because it's a bowl. And if I work fast enough, I can usually try to mix it in there with it so it's the same color. Mixed in, get it off the sides. Go as fast as I can. Now before I get that into the bowl, we're just going to go like this and tap this up. Get any bubbles off the sides coming up. I am going to buy a vibration machine someday, and that will help bring your bubbles up as well. And then all you got to do is work it, get right into your bubbles. Okay, I think we're pretty good and mixed here. Let's get this done. Boy. Okay, so I'll go 300 grams. Yeah, I didn't get it quite mixed all the way either, but that's all right. It will eventually join in there. Oh, and just a reminder, please. Will you use a shiny mold for an eco resin, a resin powder? I want you to remember just this, okay? Do not try to use it for a resin, an epoxy resin, because when you do, you're not going to have that shiny that you're looking for. The powder itself is a very abrasive material. Okay, let's shake this up. And if this one doesn't fall apart like the first one did, I shall be good. Get this water in here a little bit because there's all this powder that's stuck to the bottom, and I'm trying very hard to get it off of there so I can pour the rest of it in there. I could feel it stuck, I just couldn't get it up. Huh. And that is why you're supposed to use eye protection. Luckily, my glasses caught that splash. Oh my goodness. And that's the other problem you run into if you have to mix more real quick, is that the bottom may begin solidifying on you. And they get stuck harder. And I think we can do that with this now. a lot of extra water that just came out of there, and I'll show you how to take care of that. See this paper towel? Lay it down gently until it just touches, and it starts absorbing that water real quick. And then what's left over, do this, and it's already starting to thicken up here. So I'm just going to move it around. Alright, that's it. I could top it off, but you know, I'm not going to mix a small amount. So for this mold, we're looking at, in order to fill it, probably about 700, because I just put 4 plus 2.5, and it's still got a little ways to go. So keep an extra mold around, mix up 700, and you should be golden for that. Alright, I'll catch you in a few when this hardens, and then, enough to take it out of the mold. Then I'll start the rings. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to do the rings as part 2, and I'll just go finish up this mold. And so part 2 will come up in the next video. Although I do have a haul video coming up Friday or Saturday when all my stuff gets in here. Alright, see you in a few. Alright, I'm back for unmolding. Let's see how this goes. Since it was 3 different pours, basically. That one's got to be brought down in level. Oh my goodness, I just love these molds that you gotta work at. This one isn't so bad. I've got molds that are worse. In case you're wondering, I am doing this on my feet instead of on my rear because, well, I have a cat that's sitting in my chair. Alright, let's get this out of here. See how bad it is. It's a little unlevel because I gotta clean off the bottom, but wow, not too bad actually. And it came out in one piece. I'll be cleaning this mold in a little bit here so I can reuse it. And I've decided that this whole video is going to be about the bowl. Let's see, get it up here a little bit. But yep, it's got to have a little cleanup on the bottom. A little bit of sanding. Got most of the rough stuff off that way. But there's a glump right here. See it sticking out right about there. That one's got to get sanded down. But the rest of it has gotten pretty good. So I'm going to let it air out some more. And then I'm going to come back and I will show you what I'm going to do to embellish this bowl. Just a second back. Alright, I thought I'd bring it back and show you how I sand my products, and I wet sand them. And what I did was put some damp paper toweling down. This is just regular sandpaper, not wet dry. And it has been sprayed down with some water. And then for items like this makes it easy. Oops, get my fingernails out of the way, I'll be sanding them. This makes it easier, just in circles. And I do wet sanding so that there's no dust. And when you feel it start to clog, now as you'll notice, this is starting to come pretty smooth. But what I do is I just take my sandpaper to my garbage can and then spray it down to remove the clogging. Now if you can find wet sanding paper, wet and dry mix one, that's the best. But not everybody can find it or afford it. You do get some in some of the kits with Resincrete or the other casting powders, but you don't get it large sheets like this. And they split forever, and I'm trying to get everything level, but it doesn't work so well. And then just keep going until you get the finish on the bottom that you want. This is also a way to do it. Must be lunchtime. Alright, I'm almost done. And I'm now smooth. So I'm going to set that aside, get my little mess cleaned up, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, now you just take your clean up cloth, spray this down. Okay, helicopters don't go too well around here. Our helicopters are pretty much meaning that somebody's being transported by helicopter to a different hospital or to this hospital, depending on the directionality. Okay, the bottom of this is flaking up a little bit. That's odd, but that's all right. It'll get sealed and then it won't flake anymore. But the other reason is search and rescue. And there's a lot of places out here for people to go lost. We still have never found our missing person, Brianna Mitchell. She went missing last year, been a year now, a little over a year, and nobody's seen or heard from her. We've not found any sign of her, living or, So she's become a missing case. We are all hoping that someday we'll know what happened to her. And hope that maybe she just got tired of being here. Her disappearance was a little weird. Her car was found out in the Badlands, but there was a set of footprints. Her vehicle was found, but no other sign. The footprints ended, and I mean just ended. That was it. So, was she taken off with by aliens? There was no horse tracks. There was nothing. Or had she decided to backtrack over her own footsteps? They found a shoe. That was it. We had search and rescue out for weeks looking for her. Just no sign. Now, I didn't know her personally, but our community is one that looks out for everybody. So we do know that she had had problems with her boyfriend, that he said he hadn't seen her. There's been no text, no phone calls. Her phone has been unable to be pinged. So it was turned off or destroyed. So we are hoping that eventually we will get to know what happened with her. Her family has not given up. Nobody has given up. We're still looking. There's got to be something that shows up sometime. Somebody goes out maybe into the Badlands and maybe finds something. That would be great. Because a lot of people go to the Badlands all the time. I don't know, to test their metal. Who knows? Because the Badlands are named that for a reason. It's pretty rough out there. Okay, anyway, enough with that story. Now that I've got this clean, I'm going to go wash up because I'm going to put some rub-on decals onto this. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, let's give this a thought to see which I want to use. There are a few sheets here. And some's got words, etc. And okay, that one's upside down. I kind of like this, but I don't know how I would implement it unless it's at the top or something like that. I do like the crow, but you wouldn't be able to really see it if you put things inside here. So I'm going to concentrate around the bowl. And I think I could get this one on there. So what I want to do is I want to cut it out. But I don't necessarily need all the words around it. So I'm going to begin cutting here. And cut kind of close to it. Unfortunately, it's going to, of course, hold the white. Now, because I don't want to disturb the cover, I'm just going to cut here for now. The haul video in which I got these for showing, I mentioned how much I loved rub-ons when I was growing up. And they've always been a passion of mine, and I don't know why, other than it's art simplistic. And it allows you to give yourself some creativity without the pressure of trying to do something as exact as this that can be done with a printer. And in my opinion, that makes it slightly more enjoyable, especially if you're not the best artist or consider yourself not the best. And I really am not all that great at art, but I enjoy doing art. And that is what is to be considered. Okay, let's get these pieces out of the way. Check to see if there's anything else I might want to use. Oh, I like that one too. But maybe this one here is more in line with this one here. Oh, let's bring you down a little bit so you can actually see some more of this. I just love fighting with, there we go. Maybe back you up just a little. That's a little bit better. That's the closest I can get you. There are a lot of beautiful things on here. Oh, look at that beautiful butterfly. Oh, there are two of them. But I think we're going to go ahead and stick with the one I chose. It's just going to go on the side of the bowl. So I'll move these out of the way. Let's bring these out for attaching the rub on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. So what we want to do to attach the rub on is this cover here, this plastic has to come off. But, I remember that if you turn it over after you take this off, so I'm not sure how that rubbing one is. Hold on while I check into that for a second. Okay, so what it says to do for these is to turn it over, make sure there's nothing there. You're supposed to turn it over, and this is why I don't like having things come in with creases. It's got a crease right here, so that may become a problem. So I'm going to begin at that crease, and it says to rub it so that it attaches to the plastic front. See, I remember that you just remove the plastic front after you put the rub on onto the product. So they must have changed how that's done. And you want to rub fairly hard. So you want a good solid surface, and my glass leveling table does very well at being a good solid surface. So I am just trying to make sure I get all these edges. And I am giving it as good a pressure as I can give. Oh, my arm. Whoop. Don't want to do that. No wrinkles. Okay, let me stretch my arm for a second. Okay. And back to rubbing. Oh, and to solve my sound issues with my voice and all when I'm talking, I ordered new microphones. And yes, new microphones. Because I ordered them from Temu. I ordered 2 different types. Then I saw another one I might be interested in later on, and I made the mistake of not checking because I had just made my order, and the button that was available was add to order. And there is no way any longer to be able to cancel that portion of your order for having made a mistake. They'll make you cancel your entire order. Okay, this should be ready. So let's see. Okay, there we go. Backing is off. Came off beautifully. Now I'm sorry you're not going to be able to see me place this. And I am going to have to do it from this angle. I may not even get all of it. So I may have to change trajectory here. You want to get it down in the middle first, then lightly move it to the side because this is a curved surface. And yeah, I'm going to miss all of that. Oh well, it's only my personal use, so. And you do want to try to keep it to the top for the moment, because with the curved surface, and as soon as you start getting this transfer down, it's going to start releasing in those areas, and which means that you may not get a full transfer at the bottom of the curve. And what I do just to make sure is grab a hold of the wooden stick and begin burnishing from this direction with the wooden stick. A little disappointing that I misjudged, but that's all right. Bad eyesight has a problem with judging properly on things anymore. I do want this to curve down here if possible. Not going to get all of it, but that's to be expected, I guess. I'm going to curve this down to try to get some of this. And that's not going to work there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the best I can with making sure that the good main portion gets transferred. And it's not transferring properly. But I can always paint over it and try again. Right? Oh, my hand is hurting. Really hard to get full contact on the curved surface. Mouth itself. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not wanting to stick either. So, well, that's that. With that, I can try peeling it off. So I can get some of it off. It's stuck to me. Oh, I'll just flatten it down now and I'll paint over it. Wow. It might be because this is not fully dry yet, which probably is. But anyway, we're at an hour for that one. I'll begin the next video, but before I do the rings, I have a shopping haul for y'all from Amazon and Temu today. So I'm going to get this finished up on the video. Everything's finished as far as I'm concerned. I'll do the necessary adjustments and repairs and stuff later on. And then show you pictures in one of the videos coming up. Probably the ring video. But I'd like to thank y'all for watching this one, sticking with me this long with the woo-woos. Yep, it's those goofy doos. That's more my life. A lot of crafters' lives. But anyway, yeah, thank y'all for showing up and putting up with me again. I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Wow, I'm impressed. Thank you. I didn't think I'd get this far. I'm hoping to get a little further to the 1,000, so if y'all could share and maybe hopefully somebody will see something they like when you share and they'll come and see what else I have. Oh, and upcoming, of course, there's October week, 31 days of Halloween. We also have 25 days of Christmas coming up. So y'all hold on to your horses because it's coming. I'm trying to get the few things done before I start that I'm going to begin very soon so that I don't burn out like I did last year. Boy, I was so tired after all of that. I didn't post for a while because I was extremely tired. But anyway, subscribe if you haven't. At least think about it, maybe. Leave a comment below. Give me some suggestions. Maybe I should have coated this first, probably, or at least allowed it to fully cure for a couple of weeks. But I don't have that kind of time right now. When it fully cures, I'll finish it off. So it's going to sit for a while, but mostly it's for putting things in so that I have it close by and the cats can't knock it over like they have so many other things in my room. That was one of the reasons why I switched to my bedroom for doing all of these things. It's because of the cats. They still like getting into things. Like, this is what the purpose for this one is. This is my little squish down alcohol. These two are my spritzers. This one here is for is for dissolving mica powders. So I have 99%, 99%, 91%, 91%. This is a filtered water, so that can fit in here as well. And let me see. Well, I know y'all don't want to watch me sitting here filling this up, but this is the purpose for this kind of thing. Here's the bowl that went south on me with its counterparts that I made. The thinkers. And I'm going to try to fit all three in here. Now this thinker ended up with a bubble, so I'm going to try to fix that problem. And these are all made from different, what do you call them? Oh my gosh, casting powders. So anyway, now this one could sit like that. I have a rose. I did it that time. And I'm just going to sit that rose right in this one's lap. And that will keep those from falling over. Now, because I've done that with the big one now, the full bowl, I am going to take this one and turn it into a planter. I just have to find myself some succulents, and this was also a suggestion by one of my subscribers. Thank you so much for that idea. So I do have soil, but I do need to finish it off the rest of the way. It does desperately need the bottom sanded down, and it needs to be sealed on the inside and outside so that as the succulents get watered, they're not going to be soaking the water into this. All right. Love y'all. Don't forget to leave a comment. Love ya. And, oh yeah, share. Peace out.